how companies have been trying to profit during COVID. I see companies take, for example, boutiques in our small town of Port Angeles, like clothing stores downtown that don't normally sell hand sanitizer, hand wipes, or things like that, now are selling them. But they're not just selling the actual hand sanitizer, they're selling the small size as well. And they're charging a bit more for that, but they're also selling, little decorative cases for them that you can attach to your keychain or your backpack. So I think adding some of those items that they normally don't help are helping them maximize their profits. And they are a little bit more costly because they're not like a big store. It's not a Safeway, a Walmart or a Target or a Trader Joe's. And it's just a little boutique store, so it's a convenience of having that there to be able to purchase it, and then you can add to that your little carrying case for it. So that definitely helps. And I think that companies are realizing the change was forced upon them if they haven't done it already, which, believe it or not, some places didn't have a strong online presence or didn't feel the need for that yet, or they were just kind of dabbling in it, and then they found, with COVID, like they had to learn quickly. So now that there is, you can order online, you can request curbside pickup. So you just go online, you don't even have to talk to anybody. And then for curbside pickup, you can tell them, pick up, there's certain times where you can say that you're there, or even when you're there, you can call and then they bring it out to you, and you would have already ran your card through, so there was no need for that when you get to the door. So that's helped restaurants who didn't have that, and so then therefore the companies are able to invest into their employees by further training on that, and then hopefully hiring more to allow for that demand, because it does put a bigger demand. Like Joann Fabrics, they have ordering online and they cut fabric all day. So now they have a gal that actually does cut fabric and runs back and forth in the aisles, answers the phones, answers the computer orders, and completes them and puts them in a bag and has them ready. And then also companies, so they invest in their employees and in technology. You need to have good working programs for this, and you have to have employees that know how to do it. And you got to pick the right program for your company. I agree with the price gouging laws. I think that, it helps me to be able to purchase something, and I know that price gouging, putting a cap on it, it could also hurt, because by putting a cap on an item during an emergency, well then, how are we to see where the demand is and when something should be shipped elsewhere where there is a demand because of that emergency there. So in that aspect, it could hurt, but price gouging protects me to be able to buy, if toilet paper goes up to, some examples of prices that have gone up during COVID was, toilet paper going up to like $79.99. Those mini sanitizers were at $70, like the article that we all had to read, which was just insane. I know that box of masks, those were $300 to $400. So putting a cap on that has really helped. And now I think everything seems to be fairly priced where it should be. You can get a box at Costco. I think it's like $20, but it broke it down to like, I think it was a little bit more than that, but it broke each mask was just under $1 in the box. So I think that's fair. So that's how price gouging laws have helped our family. And so that's also with the what I just spoke on, the unintended consequence of price gouging. By putting a cap on something, then you don't really can't see where that demand is, where it should be sent off to for emergencies, what other places are needing that. Should ethics, morality be considered? I think so. I think it would be, because I mean that's your operations. That's the soul of your company, is how you are. I would hope I could tell if a company wasn't ran ethically, and I would want mine to be. I think a good example of that right there is, can a company be profitable if they're ethical? So it's a two-sided one. Martha Stewart. She's got a great face. She seems to be the perfect all-American woman on TV. You know, she cooked, beautiful crafts, talent, and then yet she was released from prison in March of 2005 for insider trading. You know, she lied about a sale and having information, and she had to do some time, and she also was under house arrest. But that's the question, though. If ethics are so important, then why don't we hold them to that higher standard? Why is it that marketing is so important, and that face that we see, we believe it? Everybody's acting is that good that we fall for it, that we don't care what is real, because we believe in front of us is real. So Martha, she seems great, but then, you know, fraud, insider trading, huge. But has it hurt her? I don't know. I don't think so. She seems bigger than ever. I still follow her. I'm still interested in her. I really enjoy the collab that she has with Snoop Dogg. Has she used it? Maybe she took that negative and put it for a positive for her. Maybe. Has she changed in her ways? The only way we'll know is if she continues to stay out of trouble. So that's an interesting example for me on that. Let's see. So is there such a thing as too much profit? I don't know. I haven't gotten there yet. But if all the big companies make all the profit, where's the room for the small mom and pop or the small company to grow as well, to make profit, when those other big companies are out there with their money and practically then setting their own price on that? Kind of doesn't leave much room for the small person. I know it's ridiculous and people don't maybe want to hear that, but I think that big companies should donate, push money, work into their policy somehow, where they give so much to smaller areas, and help them. You know, of course, it could be a tax write-off or whatever, but I just think that would be kind of neat. I know if I get big enough, I would always want to make sure I had a small business, mom and pop under my wing, that I was always there supporting and sharing and giving my love to, because then they can do the same too, and we can help communities rise together. I think that would be great. And I think I've touched on all the questions. But yeah, so the price gouging thing is pretty real. It will be interesting to see what happens this next round. But yeah, I should have invested in plastic, regardless of which way the politics went. Should have invested in plastics, because that's just going to continue to skyrocket. I'm trying to think of the next good investment before it's already hit, and then go that way. So I'm trying to see what's going on in the pandemic coming up. But okay, thank you for listening.